Hey everybody, Randall Cornet here. Hope you guys are having a great day. I wanted to make a quick video for you guys. It may not be so quick. There's a lot of reading in this, but I think it's pretty important information. If you find it useful, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I love connecting with you guys. And that being said, we'll jump right into it. So FINRA, if you guys don't know what FINRA is, this is for the new apes. Basically, I'm just going to read this by the book definition straight from Google. The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority is a private American corporation that acts as a self-regulatory organization which regulates member brokerage firms and exchange markets. So they're like the overseeing eye of exchange markets and all these brokerage firms. They're like, you know, the top tier. They're the brass. That being said, they are requesting comments on some potential changes they're looking to make on short interest reporting and other things regarding short sell reporting. So we have the ability to, if we want our voices to be heard, we can do it. So where I'm at on the screen right now, if you guys want to pause this at this point of the video, this is where we can, the ending day bell just scared the shit out of me. So this is where you could go and report the data, or not report, but this is where you can go and leave a comment on this data that we're reading here, should you choose that you want your voice to be heard. Okay. So what's basically going on is I went through without reading the whole document, which could take us a couple hours to get through all this. Is so much, and I will be linking it. I went through and highlighted some points that I thought were important. So FINRA is considering whether amendments to its short interest reporting and dissemination program would be appropriate to improve the regulatory and public utility of the information. FINRA is also considering whether any changes to other aspects of its short sell regulatory program would be beneficial, as discussed below. FINRA is considering consolidating the publication of short interest data that is reported to FINRA for both listed and unlisted securities. If FINRA were to make this change, short interest files for all equity securities would be made available free of charge on the FINRA website and would not require changes to firms' reporting requirements. If this goes through, there's also going to be changes on the time in which these guys have to report this data as well, which we're going to get into. So all this is just basically explaining right here in this B section is basically what they report currently. So a lot of you guys already know what this is. So without digging too deep into it, we'll just kind of move on to the meat of this. So FINRA is considering requiring firms to segregate the total reportable short interest into two categories: short interest held in proprietary accounts and short interest held in customer accounts. Specifically, in addition to reporting the total short interest in a security, firms also would be required to specify the short interest held across all proprietary accounts and across all customer accounts for both retail customer and institutional customer accounts for each equity security as of the close of the designated reporting settlement date. FINRA believes that this information would provide beneficial regulatory information regarding the type of market participant that accumulated a short interest position, for example, a firm or a non-broker dealer customer. So they're basically saying, we want to see all the short interest, the short positions that you have across your accounts and any retail customers. If you have deals with, these brokerages, whatever, we want to see the entirety of the short interest position. So that's good news for us. Moving on. Alternatively, FINRA is considering requiring firms to report for regulatory purposes only, not to be disseminated. So this is not going to be public information, I guess, actually. Short interest position information with more granularity by reporting at the account level for all equity securities. Account level short interest position information would provide FINRA with insight into the identity of the individuals or entities that accumulated concentrations of large short interest positions, which FINRA would use to enhance its reviews for compliance, both with the SEC regulation, SHO, and FINRA's short sell rules. So they're basically saying they can go in and they can snoop around. And if you're not meeting compliance, then there's going to be issues. So they're basically saying, hey, we want to be able to go and look at that. Here's a big one and my favorite one, and I know you guys are going to like this: synthetic short positions. In addition, FINRA is considering requiring firms to reflect synthetic short positions in short interest reports. For example, enhanced short interest reporting could include synthetic short positions achieved through the sale of a call option and purchase of a put option where the options have the same strike price and expiration month, or through other strategies. FINRA believes this information would assist FINRA in understanding the scope of market participants' short sell activity, specifically regarding the use of less traditional means of establishing short interest. So what this means for us guys is you're not going to be hiding in the options chain all these synthetic shorts. Well, basically they're going to start being able to see this if this goes through. This is all hypothetical. This is what they want to do. And it shows that they're headed in that direction if they're asking for public comment on this, right? So keep that in mind, guys. So they want to see all untraditional ways. So how these guys have been hiding and kind of basically fooling us, they want to get to the bottom of that. That should get you guys really excited. This is big news. Okay. Moving on. Loan obligations resulting from arranged financing. FINRA understands that members may offer arranged financing programs, sometimes called enhanced lending or short arranging products, through which a customer can borrow shares from the firm's domestic or foreign affiliate and use those shares to close out short positions in a customer's account. FINRA is considering requiring members to report as short interest outstanding stock borrows by customers in their arranged finance programs to better reflect actual short sentiment in the stock. So let me read this again. FINRA is considering requiring members to report as short interest outstanding stock borrows by customers in their arranged financing programs to better reflect actual short sentiment on the stock. So they're basically, if you have members that are basically using this enhanced lending or short arranging products where customers are borrowing shares from like either international or domestic firms to close out positions, they want to know to better gauge the true short interest. Basically, they want to know all the bad shit that's going on. This is like right in the realm of everything we should be wanting, guys. Just moving on, because there's a lot to cover. FINRA also is considering including in FINRA disseminated short interest data where available, the TSO and public float for securities. FINRA would obtain the information from a third-party source and include this disseminated information. Therefore, this change will not alter firms' reporting requirements. FINRA believes disseminating a securities TSO and public float would provide investors with contextual information regarding the relative size of the aggregate short position in the security. So they're going to want to know all the float. They want to see everything, synthetics and the total. So they want to see the synthetic share count versus the total float, guys. That's what this is telling me. And they want to show that true number. This is literally the most, like, has me hyped like a little girl. This is everything that we've been talking about, guys, like all packaged together. I hope that they're able to make good on this, and this is not a long drawn out process, right? Moving on. Frequency and timing of short interest position reporting and data dissemination. Members currently must submit short interest reports to FINRA twice a month, and reports are due to FINRA by 6 p.m. Eastern on the second business day after the reporting settlement date designated by FINRA. FINRA is considering requiring firms to report short interest data to FINRA more frequently. Specifically, FINRA is considering reducing the reporting timeframe to daily or weekly submissions and to enable FINRA to disseminate the collected information to the marketplace on a timelier basis. Such reports also would be due to FINRA in a shorter timeframe following the applicable settlement date. For example, if FINRA were to require daily submissions, short interest reports could be due by 6 p.m. Eastern Time, one business day after the designated reporting settlement date. And for weekly submissions, short interest reports could be due by 6 p.m. Eastern Time, one business day after the weekly designated reporting settlement date, instead of the current requirement of 2 business days after the designated reporting settlement date, which means that they want this data being reported the following day. Get it to us quicker. They're going to be looking through this, guys. This is crazy news. Currently, FINRA disseminates short interest data for OTC equity securities on the FINRA website 7 business days after the designated settlement date, which is 5 business days after the reports are due from member firms. So you have that 7-day time, and then you have that 5-day time. That's a lot of time before they're looking through this data. FINRA is considering reducing this processing time. The proposed reduction in FINRA processing time could apply where firms report short interest to FINRA on a daily or weekly basis as described above, and also could apply to current twice-a-month reporting cycle with or without a reduced firm turnaround time. Increasing the frequency and timing of reporting and disseminating short interest data would provide FINRA and other regulators, investors, and other market participants with a more current view of short interest information, better inform investors and other market participants' investment decisions, and provide more timely information to FINRA for regulatory use. Guys, I mean, we need to, like, this is... Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? Like, this is everything we were wanting. This is like Christmas, dude. Going on. Information on allocations of fail to deliver positions. Regulation SHO permits a member that is a participant of a registered clearing agency to allocate a portion of its Rule 204 fail to deliver positions to another broker-dealer based on that broker-dealer's short position. FINRA is considering enhancing its short sale reporting program by adopting a new rule to require members to submit to FINRA for regulatory purposes, not for public. So we wouldn't be able to see. This is just for FINRA to regulate these guys. A report of daily allocations of failed to deliver positions to correspondent firms pursuant to Rule 204. They want daily failure to delivers, guys. No more waiting down the line, kicking the can down the road. They want it the next day. Really, really golden stuff. So they're talking in the next, well, I guess basically just moving on. Regulatory need. The proposed short sale related reporting enhancements would provide greater transparency regarding short sale activity. More current and detailed data can be used to market participants who consider short interest when evaluating investment opportunities. It would also allow FINRA to monitor for compliance more efficiently with regulation, SHO, and other short sale obligations. So the rest of this filing basically dives deeper into each of these things. So we're not going to go into that. I feel like this was a good way to get you guys the meat and potatoes of what we're dealing with, right? This should get you guys super excited. It did for me, and I'll go ahead and make sure that I put the filing or this information where you guys can put your comments, and you guys can read this filing yourself down below. I think it shows that we're headed very much in the right direction. It's got me absolutely pumped. It should make you guys that way too. If you enjoyed the content, please write me a like and subscribe. I'm all out of breath. There's a lot of reading. Appreciate you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.